Establishing the coaching relationship, the coaching agreement. As adults, we have many agreements with other adults. We have agreements that describe the service that we are using and explain the relationship between us. The agreements protect us and ensure good service. Such agreements are especially important when it comes to private and intimate issues and when working with young adults. Educators have agreements. Through their employment, educators have agreements that describe their rights and expectations, responsibilities, and authorities. Dentists have agreements. That's why dentists are allowed to dig around inside our mouths. We have an implicit agreement with them that it's okay to look in an otherwise private or intimate place. Doctors have agreements. That's why doctors are allowed to look in places that we normally regard as private and intimate. They've given an oath that promises their actions have good intentions. Coaches have agreements. In the same way, coaches need to have a coaching agreement that allows them to dig around in intimate places and look at private things. Coaching agreement at two levels. Coaching agreement can be viewed from a macro and micro level. And by macro, I mean a large overall partnership covering at least the whole duration of the coaching partnership. And by micro, I mean a partnership for the session, or part of the session. At the macro level, since students mature over time, it's useful to have a signed coaching agreement on paper based on the one that's provided by your workplace. This agreement should be read and signed by the people concerned, such as administrators, teacher, coach, student, and possibly parents and/or guardians. The agreement should include a statement of confidentiality and a statement about the inclusion of other people, such as therapists, counselors, parents, in the coaching process and the situations where that might be appropriate. The agreement should also include a description of the purpose of the coaching with respect to the student's needs, what's being offered and what is not, the student and coach's respective responsibilities, what behavior is appropriate in the relationship and what is not. Relevant logistics should also be included, such as which rooms are used, time and dates of planned sessions, routines for postponements, for illness, for example, and any reporting routines. Coaching situations. There are a number of different situations where coaching can be carried out. Coaching can be carried out in public, in the classroom, or in the corridor, or in private. Coaching can be carried out at a predetermined time or on the spur of the moment. Coaching can focus on one person or a group. All of these situations require that a coaching agreement already be in place. Otherwise, it's not coaching. At the micro level, at the start of each coaching session, there is an opportunity to define, refine, redefine the coaching agreement. Normally, you remind each other of the existence of the coaching agreement that makes the relationship one of coach and coachee rather than educator and student. Often all that's required is a phrase like, "Is it okay that I coach you for the next 5 minutes?" Or, perhaps from the student, "Would you coach me on my results?" Coaching the class. If you're speaking to a class, it's vital that you allow for the fact that some students might not be ready to be coached right now, even if you think they would benefit from coaching. You might say, "I'm going to coach the whole class for the next 5 minutes about goals and results. If you're not ready for that, please remain quiet so the rest of the class can hear me, or you can answer in silence, or write your answers down on paper." Confidentiality. Occasionally, you might want to remind the class about confidentiality. Here's a way to do that. Can we agree that everything we say in this room stays in this room? And then pause. Does anyone disagree? Pause. In the early days of the class's experience of coaching, you might want to explain to them about the notion of confidentiality and get them to discuss it and the consequences of breaking it and the benefits of keeping it. Summary. We need agreements to allow educators, when working as coaches, to dig around in intimate places and look at private things. We make the agreement clear by putting it in writing and getting credibility and support in the form of signatures. We make use of the agreement by bringing it up at the start of any coaching session. A quick reminder of the agreement makes the coaching session stand out from ordinary conversations. And here's a tip. Keep the coaching session separate from other types of conversation. Take the time to make a break between the session and other conversations.